Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Isak Wolff, and joining me today is someone that is has recently got a lot of nightmares, a lot of been tormented to pieces, and I'm happy that I got him here yet again, talking about something a bit more sane. As you all know, here he is, Brandon Alvarado. How's it going, buddy?
It is amazing. What's up, guys? Excited to be here. Woo!
And
Anime, manga, woo! Okay, that was weird. That was so forced.
yeah,
Um,
that was so forced.
I mean, and what I mean by that, guys, I'm still trying to get better after recording, finally recording the much anticipated by Isaac Ninja Resurrection commentary. It is, I am not my best self in that commentary, but that is all Isaac's fault. And I hope you guys really enjoy me losing my mind. But Isaac, why are we here today? Why are we here
Well,
today?
we are here to talk about. Well, as you might, for those that remember, are talking about a certain new manga that has been introduced to the world named Doron Dororon and the Doron Dororon. The title is mindful,
Yes.
and considering it got a lot of views and people seem to enjoy it, and we figure why not make this its own series, similar to My Hero Academia and My Hero Academia with Atlantis.
Yes, sir.
So we figured why not do it, and you wanted to show up some example, and with this. Speaking as I'm up to speed with this manga, but so I can say that one thing that I think these chapters do right, even if you can argue maybe it's a bit, in some regard, fast paced, is the relationship between our two buddy cops, so to speak,
Right.
and I actually like the dynamic and the fact that you get a more insight into their whole thing shortly in this chapter just by them sitting there in uh, what's it called in English?
Sitting by the
The
sea, by the beach, or the I don't know, on that pier.
pier. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
And it also just I don't, there is also the the whole monsters versus soldiers and all that. Yes, isn't you had a they are very distinct looking. I have to say they don't look. I would argue that they they have a certain personality to it all. If
Yeah.
you wanted to show an example,
Yeah. I wanted to. Yeah, I had a couple of little screenshots here and there of specifically from the chapter, because we don't want to spoil. Well, I mean, we're going to spoil certain things, but we don't want to spoil it to the point that you don't want to discover what Doron Dororon has to offer. But before I show anything, um, to those that do not remember, Doron Dororon is a story that follows Doro Sasaki and his new Mononoke demon friend, which is actually a demon, Kusanagi, as they join together in the most naive missions ever, which is like they want to make the world a genuine happy place, which is like can we talk about how sunshine and rainbows, this is like it's too much to a degree, but I kind of like the fact that it's so simple and sincere without losing its edge of how dark the show can really be. Does that make sense? Like, even though they have this rainbow fluffy mission or way of understanding or way of wanting the world to be, right? They have this vision of the world. Um, they also have this seriousness that they know that they need to be lethal against these monsters to achieve that. So it's not like an entirely naive mission, even though it sounds like that, because they're not naive because they understand what that mission means. You know what I mean? Like nobody understands how deadlier it is to them. But what I like the most about these two particular chapters, which of course are called Stray League Samurai, and the one we're going to see later, is that this one kind of sets the tone for what they mean to each other, right? Like they're taking
Yeah.
it like this episode is really about that, about the fact that they're not gonna abandon each other. That the promise they made at the end of chapter one is that they're gonna be together and they're gonna fight Mononokes and make the world a happy place. And the whole thing is, of course, if you remember the coverage of our first chapter, or the first recording that we did where we introduced Doron Dororon, is that the whole thing is that without supernatural energy, you cannot harm Mononokes. And even though Dora Sasaki wanted to be being his the main character that you can see there with the red hair in the background, he wanted to be a samurai. He can't because he doesn't have any ability to produce supernatural energy. But the way that the writer goes around this, he kind of pulls like a black clover on this, where um, Mononoke, which is in and of itself, he's a living being. He is a demon. He becomes the weapons and the supernatural energy that Sasaki is able to use to fight Mononokes. And it's this mixture of these two personalities, of these two people that without each other, they cannot achieve the dream that they have. I think it's a nice beginning of a very nice friendship. And I like how it kind of becomes this story about, like you mentioned on the first video, that it's about showing the world that some things or some people, some beings are more than meets the eye. Not all the time what you see is what you get. Sometimes there's more to the story. And I like that I like the protagonist that we have in this story, right?
Yeah.
Um now in regards to one of the things that we talked about last time is how grotesque and crazy these demons are, and even though we have these guys that have these rainbows for brains, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's just I'm just trying to give you an idea how hopelessly full of hope they are. That was so weird. That sounds like a pun. That's normally something you would say, Isaac. How they're so hopefully filled with hope, to make the world a better place. This is a dark world. Like look at this. These demons look like horrible. You can see how there's so much like demon slayer like elements here. Whereas like it's bloody, like people are like being crushed or whatever, they're about to be eaten. But the biggest thing that stands out to me is the designs for the demons are very, very crazy. Like these are very crazy designs, and I think I like the fact that they look like something that I've never seen before. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
like we expect demons to look a certain way now, but I don't think we maybe seen them this way. Like the most radical version of demons that I've seen, and I even haven't seen that series as a whole completely, is Devilman Crybaby, which I know is not one of your favorites. But you know that
Ugh.
the design for those are is very weird, right? But
Yeah.
this one,
No,
what
and I hate Devilman
I know you
Crybaby.
do.
Ugh.
But what I like about these demon designs is that they look very artistic. Like they're overly artistic. You know what I mean? They look very sophisticated. Like because they look so sophisticated, it feels that they don't belong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you turn the page and you see it, and it's like, what the hell is that? Like it just jumps out of the page because of its weird design. Um, and I kind of like that. Now, um, what of this particular chapter? What was your favorite moment, if you had one? I mean, it's the first like most new mangas. The first chapter is longer. It's like 55 pages. This one was 25, but I like the fact that each chapter is a good chunk. It's not like My Hero now that's like only 15 pages every week because
On
reasons. Yeah,
honestly, the thing I like the best is honestly the scene where you see the samurai thanking them both
yeah, yep,
in
yep,
the second chapter.
yep.
That's probably the best scene in the entire chapter.
Yep.
It's just simple, impactful, and straight to the point.
Yes, and there's a lot of this in this series. Like a lot of this series is straight to the point. Like you know that there's mystery in it, but a lot of this series and the big point of it is like it's straight to the point. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of directness, and I actually like that. Like you know how some shows, like for example, Demon Slayer is one of those shows. Now I'm gonna be very careful in what I say. Demon Slayer is phenomenal, but it's been almost 40 episodes, right? Almost or more, and and we know nothing about Muzan, right? So it's like the mystery is just like, oh, sometimes I mean it's necessary, but like you kind of want to be given bits and pieces here and there, and sometimes some shows feel like they're overly mysterious. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like this one, like Doron Dororon, so far there's mystery, but it's always like very underneath the surface because they want you to focus on the characters and what's happening. Like there's going to be time for that, but there's no mystery driving. It's really all about these characters growing, which I like so far. Of course, I know there's going to be a point where we're going to learn about the Mononoke, blah blah blah. But I like what we're seeing so far because you've got that buddy cop thing going on. Um, and also the buddy cop thing, like you know how you always expect buddy cops to be like excessively different or like an opposites attract situation. I like how Doron Dororon is not that. Like, is this is not a case of opposites attract? It's more like they understand their weaknesses and they overtly protect each other.
Yeah, which is
which
a
is
bit
which is a nice
which
twist.
yeah, it's it also goes straight to the point. Also into the whole that you talked about earlier. Never judge someone by its appearance.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. Um, I liked I still like a lot everything going on with the shape shifting abilities of Kusanagi and how it's how they're trying to find ways of having him get to a form where he can be free, right? And like we talked about how Kusanagi has the ability to become weapons, like melee weapons. And like this is an example that I want to show you guys. And it's pretty cool because it looks vicious. It's very Pokemon like, which by the way, the first time we talked about this show, we talked about how Doron Dororon had a lot of elements from a lot of different ones, a lot of different animes and a lot of different mangas. But I like
Yeah.
the fact that Kusanagi screams Pokemon.
Or Digimon.
Right, right, right. And especially the whole thing about him, right? It's Pokemon, Digimon, that whole like line, right? And the fact that he becomes melee weapons and has different forms, I find that so cute. Of course, like I love what you said last time, like it's merchandising.
I mean, have you looked at his design?
Yeah, yeah. Like you have him becoming a weapon here, which is super cool. Um, and it's so funny because whenever Dora kind of told Kusanagi to become the katana, it kind of reminded me of Inspector Gadget. Go Gadget! So I kind of like that whole vibe. So you see him becoming a katana here, and then like earlier in that chapter, as he was trying to hide from people, you also see him become a hat, which again, merchandising, which is also
Yeah,
very cool. And I just like the designs, and um, so far I like it. I like the idea of him being that, and of course, I think we've talked enough about chapter two, right? We can go to chapter three.
yeah. We can go over to chapter 3,
So
and
I have a oh actually no. So let me just fix this here because I want to show one because if this happens towards the end of chapter two into chapter three, which is what they discover was the best way for which I think is very ingenious and so smart and so simple. The way they finally decide to have Kusanagi hide in the middle of everywhere, right? And is that Kusanagi becomes headphones, which is like, of course, I mean, why not? Everybody talks on their phone, or everybody has a Bluetooth, or some again merchandising.
I mean he is perfect. It's like they created a perfect merchandise.
Yeah, yeah, and I gotta say, it's a cool design. The whole thing with the Kusanagi eye, it I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes like the you know how Naruto has the hidden leaf thing and like Fairy Tail has the emblem and like Demon Slayer has I mean the Demon Slayer name and the logo is all that it is, right? But like
Yeah,
I can see that becoming the symbol for Doron Dororon.
yeah,
But yeah,
and
it's
it's
pretty cool.
also, I don't know if I mentioned that, but I've found out that Jujutsu Kaisen shares Jujutsu Kaisen's editor is working with this project, which makes me wonder if uh, they believe in this manga when they first got it or something.
Now, you're talking about the editor for the anime or the editor for the manga?
Editor for the manga,
Okay. Yeah. Well,
because
well, and also you said that supposedly Jujutsu Kaisen is almost done, right?
yeah,
So, I mean, it's like anything. I mean, you can't blame the guy for having multiple projects, but of course, after such a big hit like Jujutsu Kaisen, he's going to pick the next thing he thinks is going to be the next big thing, right? Because that's the only way you continue to be successful, right?
yeah.
You keep thriving to find the next big hit. Ah!
But like I said, if they share this editor with Doron, with Jujutsu Kaisen, and that, and the fact that it's now 12 chapters in,
Yeah,
I think we have something that could be good.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's good so far. Unlike Brandon, I'm up to speed with this series, so
hmm
at this point, is me more sort of like thing what he thinks compared to what I know.
yeah.
And I have to say, if it's one thing that's for that chapter 3 did in particular, well, I have a new one of my new favorite female characters in the entire in the manga, because
As it in manga period or this manga?
no, as in I wouldn't say top 10 or so, but she's something, but she's such dorky that I can't do anything
Yes,
but
yes.
uh,
And you know what's funny? Like, and I don't mean to interrupt you. Even though I actually, even though I do it all the time, but like Jinshio, that character is like the type of character that you cannot wait to see what a voice actor brings to it. You know what I
that would
mean?
just be that character would be hilarious. I'm looking forward to hearing a voice actor to what a voice actor could give.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's a very quirky character. I like that this chapter kind of, because we kind of see her in the background of chapter one, right? Like she's on her way to fight the samurais. I mean, to fight the Mononoke that was eating the kids. The one that Sasaki and Kusanagi beat the first time, right? The first time they combined forces. Um, but I like that she's curious about them. I like the fact that she tests them, but I like the fact that she has this dorkiness but intelligence that she doesn't hide anything, but at the same time she's hiding a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the fact that she got them involved with her. I need to further my career just because she paid his rent was kind of funny.
No, no, not only that, it's the response that Dora has. It's like, so not saving people, like like you don't care about saving people, you just want to advance your career. And she goes like, well, both things go together. So it's like, okay, let's just do this.
Yeah, like I
Yes.
said, it's just a dork situation. It's sort of like dorky personalities with just weird, just fun interaction mixed in with one. It's I wouldn't say it's Attack on Titan. It's not Attack on Titan dark, but it's sort of like an interesting contrast between sort of like I would Bleach more funnier moments
Yeah. Yeah.
with Demon Slayer's dark, just dark atmosphere about how all the demon society is.
Right.
If
And
that makes any sense.
yeah. Yeah, because she's kind of like the door towards everything through that world that Sasaki thought that he will never get access to, right?
Yeah.
That's the soul. She's the door to the soul society. She's the road to becoming the Wizard King. She is the Bulma with the Dragon Ball radar, right? Like she is that kind of character, that is a door, but also an addition to the cast. Which, of course, every manga has one, but I like the fact that she's very enjoyable by herself. Like even the moments that you kind of see her in the background, you can see it's the way she's drawn. She's drawn quirky and different, right? Like there's something
To be
about
fair, everyone is drawn. Human is drawn Kirk indifferent.
no, but like you can tell that the facial expressions and the design for her face are very different in comparison to almost everyone else. You know what I mean? Like she has very distinct features, right?
Yeah.
Which I like because it distinguishes her from everybody else. And I also like how they kind of like started hinting at the fact that they started hinting to the mystery of her, which is she wants to move forward in her career because there's someone that she's trying to reach or impress or whatever. And if you look at this panel, she's a badass. Like
Yeah.
she's like super quick, super fast. Like like she's like right on there. If it wasn't because Sasaki is fast, but I like that. I like also that the way they introduce her, it was like the perfect mix of she is quirky and weird and serious, but she's super powerful. And like Sasaki knows that he stands no chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like it's a mixture of all those things, especially how when she does the taps into the speed force and goes out the door faster than everybody else. I
Yeah, I
kind of like
mean,
it.
he's. I mean, like we said in the previous episode, he's kind of inhumanly strong considering he just drag along that buff guy in the chapter one like it's
Yeah,
nothing, and just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
is going on?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
So
yeah, it sounds like this is going to be the beginning of a very interesting friendship and intention and an interesting thing, you know.
Yeah,
So I
and
can't wait.
it's like I mean, I have hopes for this manga, and I seriously hope this gets an anime adaptation, because this could be just a wonderfully weird experience. I say that in a good way.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Yeah, this is a great show. These are two great chapters. I mean, guys, I mean, if you guys want to figure out what's out there for Doron Dororon, I mean, these first three chapters are great. And here's the best thing about it. This is not paid advertisement, but at least here in the States, I have to do it. Guys, the Viz manga app is awesome. Membership is only $2.99 a month. And if you guys go in there, you guys can read everything and keep up to date with Doron Dororon. You can read Full Metal Alchemist. You can read Dragon Ball Super. There's so much to read there. That's where I read My Hero Academia, Vigilantes, and a lot of bunch of other stuff. That's where I read Chainsaw Man. But not only that, if you're not sure if Doron Dororon is for you and you don't want to just commit to a membership, just know the first three chapters of Doron Dororon are free. And I think it's a mixture of the first three chapters and also the three latest chapters. They make them free, so that way, if you want to read the story in between, then you sign up. It's a very interesting mechanic. But you can read the first three chapters for free. Check it out. It's super awesome. I mean, we're gonna keep covering it because it's awesome. We think you should check out Doron Dororon.
Yeah. And do you have anything more else to say?
No, man. I think that's it, man. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that said, so where can people find you, my friend?
And they can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter and at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Instagram.
And you can find me over at my work over at Wobam Entertainment, and you can find me over at Emblemaniac on Twitter, and you can find our pod at the Amateur Otaku Pod on Twitter, and when this comes out, we should have a My Hero Academia episode, our weekly Attack on Titan episode, and I don't know if the Linear Resurrection commentary track will be posted after or before this.
Sometime soon, you will hear me cry for help.
And you will hear my maniacal laugh.
Have it awesome, guys. We'll see you next time. If you love what we do, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the like button. Click on the bell for notifications so you do not miss any episodes or any more coverage of Doron Dororon manga. Have it awesome, guys. Peace.
Peace.